Cam got hit.
You know, a lot of people say they think I'm going crazy, you know what I'm saying? But really, if you really think about it, what I'm really doing is just turning back to my original culture. You know what I'm saying? They want to tell you that our history started as slavery. I'm not with that, man. I'm going back to how we was before slavery. And we set apart people, man. Shalawam. Bahashim Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. That's all I know now. Kal Yasharala, Barakatai. That's all I know now. I turn up for the Most High. That's all I know now. Rather die in His truth than to live in that lie. That's all I know now. 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 Bahashim Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. That's all I know now. Kal Yasharala, Barakatai.
Shalawam, shalawam, shalawam. All praises be to the Most High Yahweh. Call halal Yahweh. By Shalawam Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Shalawam to all the Ahchs and Ahchwaths out there. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button, that share, subscribe. And before we get started, let's give all praises again to Abanawi Yahweh, Call halal Yahweh, Bahasham Mashiach Yahweh Shai. And shalom to everyone. So as you can see on the screen, as always, before I get started into this lesson, I always like to start off with Proverbs 3 and 5. As you can see right here, say, trust in Yahweh with all thy heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Verse 7. Be not wise in your own eyes, but fear Yahweh. Fear Yahweh and depart from evil. So we must depart from evil. This is what the whole Bible is telling us. Depart from evil. Turn from evil. Wickedness. It will destroy us all and bring us down to Sha'al and get cast down from the Most High and punished in your judgment. So please turn from your evil. Pray for all of us. Pray for me. Pray for my family. And pray for the nation that we all may turn from evil. Okay? With that being said, let's dive into the lesson. The lesson to be about salvation. Do you know what salvation is? A lot of people come and talk and ask questions, and they have no idea what salvation is in the Bible. They make up their own ideology, as I would say. They make up their own thing of what salvation is. But let's get into it, dive right into it, and see what the Bible says salvation is. I'm going to go to Lamentations. I always like Lamentations. Jeremiah. Going to be a Lamentations 3. I'm going to go all the way down. I'm going to start at verse 20. This is what I like to, basically every morning when I wake up. This is like one of the first things that I say, as I'm speaking with the Most High. It makes me think every time what Jeremiah was going through, when he was actually seeing the nation being taken over by heathens. Anyway, here we go. Lamentations 3. My soul had them still remembrance. My soul had them still in remembrance, and is humbled in me. This I recall to my mind. Therefore I have hope. Beautiful. Jeremiah has hope. Hope in who? The Most High Yahweh. It is of Yahweh's mercy that we are not consumed. Because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Verse 23, they are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. All praises for that. Yahweh is my portion, saith my soul. Therefore will I hope in him. Who does Jeremiah hope in? Yahweh. Because why? He said, this is my portion. So Jeremiah is putting his trust and his hope in Yahweh. Jeremiah did it. David did it. Habakkuk did it. Nehemiah did it. I'll do it. I'll do it. You don't have to, but I'll do it. I put my trust in him. Yahweh is good unto them that wait for him, to the soul that seeketh him. He is good to those who wait for him. So we must wait on Yahweh, and he will be good to you. It is good that a man should what? Both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of Yahweh. I got to read that one more time. It is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of Yahweh. Jeremiah is writing this. He's speaking about salvation. Jeremiah is speaking about salvation in Lamentations 3:26. It is good for a man that he bear the yoke in his youth. What does that mean? That you turn to Yahweh and serve Yahweh in your youth. Don't wait till you're 70 and 80 years old if you make it that far, 60 years old if you make it that far. It says it is good for a man that he bear the yoke in his youth. Bear the yoke for Yahweh. Do what he asks you to do. Verse 26 really says it though. The salvation of Yahweh. Let's jump down a little bit. Listen, if you haven't read Lamentations, for time's sake, I'm just going to jump down. But listen, go back and read the whole book of Lamentations. If you have not read it, I implore you and encourage you, please read it. Get an understanding of what Jeremiah is actually speaking on in the whole book of Lamentations and see what's really going on. That's why it's called Lamentations. For time's sake, like I say, I'm going to jump down to verse 46. And this is what I want right here. All our enemies, who? All our enemies have opened their mouth against us. So Jeremiah is letting us know right here in the book of Lamentations 3:46 that we have enemies. And it says plural with an S. So it's not just one enemy, it's multiple enemies. And he's letting us know this. Our enemies have opened their mouth against us. Fear and a snare is just a trap, is come upon us. Desolation and destruction. Mine eye runneth down with rivers of water for the destruction of the daughter of my people. He's crying. He's weeping. He's lamenting. Right? Verse 49. My eye trickleth down and ceaseth not without any intermission, meaning he's just constantly crying. He's constantly weeping. Salakia for that. Verse 50. Till Yahweh till Yahweh look down and behold from the Shemayim, my eye affected my heart because of all the daughters of my city. My who? Here it is again. My enemy chasing me sore like a bird without cause. And you can continue to go on, but my thing is the enemies. That's what I'm trying to show you, the enemies. Verse 53, they had cut off my life in the dungeon and cast a stone upon me. So we have enemies. But I know somebody is going to say, well, In Genesis, when it was with Abraham, let's get it. I know somebody gonna say that, so let's get it. All nations shall be what? Blessed through Abraham. But they also shall be, let's just read it. Genesis 12:1. Now Yahweh has said unto Abraham, or Abram, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show you. Verse 2. And I will make thee a great nation, and I will barak thee, and make thee, or make thy name great, and thou shalt be a barakah, or a blessing. Verse 3. I think I said verse 3 earlier. If I did, Salakia, we on verse 3 now. That was verse 2. And I will barak them that barak you, or bless them that bless thee. Right? So if you blessed Abraham, then the Most High would bless you. And it says, and curse him that curseth thee. Well, Lamentations, Jeremiah was speaking about that we have enemies. And the Most High here in Genesis 12:3 is saying he will curse them, or curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed, or barak. So all the nations of the earth could be blessed through Abraham if they bless him, or barak him. Barak is just the Hebrew for bless, if you didn't know that. Okay, so that's why I say barak. But there also will be a curse on them for the ones that curse him. Right? So did they curse, or did they come against Abraham and his people? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Well, we can see within the scriptures and within the Bible that they did come against Abraham. And not all nations did bless him. They actually did curse him. His people, Abraham's people, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they actually did curse. Let's get into it. I love to go to this one right here. Psalms 83, the classic. It's the classic. You know? And there's so many other verses, but like I say, we can go through the whole Bible and show this time and time again. Time and time again. You know, it doesn't just have to be one or two verses. I mean, it's so many that you just have to pick and choose what you want to bring out, because there's so many that shows that the other nations did curse the Israelites. They did come against the Israelites. But here it is right here, right? In the book of Psalms, chapter 83. And verse 1. We'll just start at verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O Allah. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Allah. Verse 2. For lo, thy enemies, once again, enemies, have made a tumult. And they what? Hate. They hate. Somebody is hating here, and they hate. Thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. What people? The Israelites. Crafty. Who else remembers this crafty word? Where is this word used at? Crafty. Who else is very crafty? Do you remember that? Let's get it. Let's hold that right quick, and we'll come right back. Let's get it. Genesis 3. Who else is crafty? Let's get it right here. Let's see. Genesis chapter 3. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast, which is crafty, right? We can look into this. Here it is. See? Crafty. Sly. Crafty. The serpent. So who is crafty? The serpent. Right? That's what it say right here in Genesis 3. Let's go back to Psalms. Right? So it says they have taken crafty counsel. We know the serpent is the same way. Crafty. Right? Sly. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. What people? The Israelites. And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of who? Israel may be no more in remembrance. And I know you might say, well, Israel is in remembrance because there's Israel, the nation over there right now. You have Israelis over there. There's a war right now going on between Palestine and Israel. So there is a remembrance. So it has to be something that's not right if Israel's over there, and yet the Bible is saying that there will be no more remembrance of it. Little bit of a contradiction there between the Bible and what the world is saying, correct? Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Let's get this word, right? I know some of you guys may know, but let's make, I want everybody to know. What did they do? They made a covenant, an alliance, a pledge between men, a treaty, an alliance. So you get the logistics of everything, okay? They made a covenant between themselves, right? Whoever all these people is, this is what they did. Against thee, right? And then it goes on to tell us who these people are that made this covenant or alliance to cut the nation of Israel off and for there to be no more remembrance of it. And it says in verse 6, the tabernacle of Edom, which are the Edomites, the tabernacle of the Ishmaelites, which was Abraham's son, Ishmael, and this is where the Arabs come from, the Ishmaelites. Edom is where the Edomites come from, so-called white man. Moab, where the so-called Asians come from. The Hagarenes, right? The Philistines, Amalek, Ammon, Tyre, Assyria also joined in, it says in verse 8, with them. Right? The children of Lot. So we see here in all these verses that all these nations of people came against who? Israel. They came against Israel to cut them off, it says, from being what? A nation of people, that they may be no more in remembrance. What people don't remember theirself? What people do not know who they are? What people walk around calling themselves African American, black, Negro, nigga? Why does those people name continue to change? And if you happen to ask a young brother or a young sister, What nation are you from? They will say Africa. But Africa is a continent. What nation are you from? And then they'll have this confused look on their face because you know what? They don't truly know. They don't know where they come from, who they are. Let's get this. Hold on. Let's hold that. And I'm going to move on from this, because my son always telling me, Daddy, you beating a dead horse. But I'm going to jump to Jeremiah real quick to show you this. Hold on. Salakia. I blew it up too big. And now it's acting funny. Anyway, let me just go right here. Jeremiah 17:4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thy heritage. Your heritage is who you are. Well, Jeremiah is telling us as a people, as a nation, that we will be discontinued from our heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy who? Enemies. When we got taken off our slave ships, when we were brought over here to the Americas, so-called Jamaica, so-called Dominican Republic, so-called Cuba, so-called Puerto Rico, right? So-called, what's that place? Brazil. All these places that we were brought to as slaves, it says, I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. Thus saith Yahweh. This is Yahweh speaking. Cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departeth from Yahweh. So if you have departed from Yahweh, right, you left him, you forsaken him, you went back into the world, right, you turn your back on him, you don't acknowledge him, right? This is why I start off with Proverbs 3, because it says what in Proverbs 3 that I read earlier? In all thy ways acknowledge Yahweh. I don't care if you going off. I don't care if you all the way off. I don't care where you are, how filthy you are, how dirty you are, how ran down you are. It does not matter. You still acknowledge Yahweh. Never turn your back on him, because he never turns his back on you. But when you turn your back on him and you give up on him, he said, cursed be the man that trusted in man. You may say, well, I'm not trusted in no other man. If you trust in yourself, that man, that's breaking one of the first commandments, because let's see, in Psalms 82:6, it said that ye are gods, or ye are Elohaims, right? So if you start trusting in yourself, you are Elohim, and you could be cursed. You're putting yourself before the Most High, right? But that's going into a whole nother thing. Like I said, I just wanted to show Jeremiah 17:4. That we will be discontinued from our heritage, and we will serve thy enemies in a land that thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. Right? That's Jeremiah 17:4. So let's go back to Psalms 83 real quick. Right? Thy enemies. Like I say, the whole Bible is speaking about the nation of Israel has enemies. So I'm not going to reread that. Hopefully you got it. It's in Psalms 83. Let's move on to Baruch chapter 2, verse 28. I'm going to dive right into it. And thou speakest by thy servant Moses in the day when thou didst command him to write the law before the children of Israel, saying, if ye will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations, where I will scatter them. Who was scattered on all these ships? Deuteronomy 28 and 68. If you don't know that, pull that up. Deuteronomy 28:68. Who was scattered on slave ships? Our ancestors, right? I just gave a few examples on where we were scattered. Verse 30. For I knew that they would not hear me. Yahweh know that you won't hear him. He know what? As it says in the next, he says you what? Because it is a stiff-necked people. You hard-headed. You want to do it your way, right? You want to walk how you want to walk. You want to do what you want to do. You want to live your life the way you want to live it. Once again, breaking one of the first commandments. You shall have no Elohim before the Most High Yahweh, for he said, I am a jealous Allah. He gave you his soul in your body to live. It is borrowed. It is lent. And here you are thinking you something special with that any time, any day, any hour, he can take his soul back and you will die. And then your life is over. The life that you hold so precious to yourself that you think you're so something else and you're nothing. Nothing. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. All praises to the Most High for that. And shall know that I am Yahweh, their Allah. For I will give them a heart and ears to hear. All praises. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name. That's what I'm doing right now. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. And return from their stiff neck. I was stiff necked, bugged out, turned out. You know what I mean? Stiff neck. Want to do it my way. But all praises for the spirit that the Most High sent upon you. I believe that's in the book of Sirach. It is in the book of Sirach, I believe, about when the spirit comes upon you, how it will walk with you in your crooked ways in the beginning, but it will also torment you to turn you back to the righteous way. And all praises to the Most High for that. Call Allah Yahweh for that, for the torment, right? But it says also that if you don't turn from that wickedness, that it will allow you to stay in that. Just like 2 Thessalonians, he will allow you to believe that lie if you want to believe that lie for your own destruction. I don't want to believe that lie. I don't want to be stiff-necked, right? And from the wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before Yahweh. And I will bring them again into the land. This is prophecy right here. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And they shall be masters of it. And I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. Verse 35. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their Allah, and they shall be my people. Once again, and they shall be my people. Who are his people? The Israelites. And I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them. All praises be to that. This is Yahweh, Abanawa, making a claim and letting us know exactly what he's going to do. And nothing will ever be diminished once he puts you back in the land of Israel. None of the things that's going on over there in Israel right now will be going on when Yahweh puts his people back in the land. So how do we know that those people that are in the land at this present time are not truly the Israelites? Is very clear because their chaos, war, and those things would not be going on when Yahweh, the Most High, the Ancient of Days, the giver of life, the taker of life, when he puts his nation of people who he chose to be a special people above all people on the face of the earth, Deuteronomy 7:6, those things will not be going on anymore. Why? Let's get it. Because he will be saved from who? Your enemies. Look at this, Psalms 82, enemies. But let's get Isaiah real quick. Let's get a little bit of Isaiah. I'm almost done. And then we'll wrap it up. Isaiah 63:1. Isaiah 63:1. Look at this. Elohim, vengeance on the nations. Nobody wants to speak about this. You know, it's sad. I just seen a brother Hezekiah saying that Gentiles could be saved. Right? And I used to listen to his music. But now, off with your head. Because not only are you going against the scripture, you going against what the Most High, Yahweh Allah, has said. For it says right here in Isaiah 63, Elohim, vengeance on the nation. Right? Look at this. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments? Who is this? I don't even want to. Should I even go into this? Man, this is just let's get it in the NLT. Let's see, because I want it to be as clear as day. Who is this that coming from Edom, from the city of Bozrah, with his clothes stained red? Who is this in royal robes, marching in great strength? It is I, Yahweh, announcing what? Your salvation. Whose salvation? Your salvation. This is Isaiah writing this. It is I, Yahweh, who has the power to what? Save. Verse 2. Why are your clothes so red, as if you have been treading out grapes? Verse 3. I have been treading the winepress alone. No one was there to help me. In my anger, I have trampled my what? Enemies. As if they were what? Grapes. In my fury have I trampled my foes. Their blood has stained my clothes. This is vengeance that the Most High Yahweh Allah is bringing on the nations. How can you skip over these prophecies and say that these nations is going to be saved? Their salvation. What is salvation? It's clearly saying you have enemies. Let's continue. For the time has come for me to avenge who? My people. Who is this people? Israel. To ransom them from who? Their oppressor. Do you see this? Let me blow this up even more. Can you see this? This is Isaiah 63:4. Let me bring it down a little bit more so you can ask. Yeah, there it is. Okay. I was amazed to see that no one intervened to help the oppressed. Nobody has ever helped us. Nobody has saved us. Nobody came over here and said, look, it's wrong that you guys had these people enslaved. It's wrong that you raping their women. It's wrong that you murdering their grandparents. It's wrong that they can't read. It's wrong that you tearing their little babies apart. It's wrong that you feeding their babies to alligators. It's wrong that you're tearing them apart and hanging them and lynching them and setting them on fire. It's wrong. Nobody intervened. Nobody helped us. Let me calm down. Excuse me if I'm a little bit loud. I apologize, Salakia. But nobody intervened. Nobody helped us. So I myself, this is Yahweh. So I myself stepped in to save them with a strong arm and with Salakia, and my wrath sustained me. Here it is, verse 6. I crushed the nations in my anger and made them stagger and fall to the ground. Listen to this. Spilling their blood upon the earth. These are the other nations that not only Hezekiah, all the other brothers is coming out talking about that they could be saved. Saved from what? Saved from what? Let's go to Luke, and I'm going to wrap it up with this, man. Luke 1. Luke chapter 1. And I'm going to jump all the way down. This is the classic. If you don't know, now you know. This is what salvation is, okay? Clearly, this is what the Bible brings out from Genesis to Revelation, okay? This is exactly what salvation is in the Bible. It's nothing else but this. Zechariah's prophecy right here. Luke chapter 1, verse 67. Clear as day. And his father Zechariah, whose father? John the Baptist, right? And his father Zechariah was filled with the Ruach Kodesh, or the Holy Spirit, or the Holy Ghost, and prophesied, saying, Barak be Yahweh Allah of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people. Who is his people? The nation of Israel. The same ones that was with Moses that got led out of Egypt. The same ones that was at Mount Sinai. The same one that he gave the oracles and the law to. Those are his people. And have raised up a horn of what? Salvation for us in the house of his servant David. Salvation. People don't have no idea what salvation is. But the Bible clearly speaks that salvation, we're going to keep reading, as he spake by the mouth of his Kodash, or holy prophets, which have been since the world began. Verse 71, they weep that we should be saved from our enemies. I wish I could highlight that whole thing right here. Can I highlight that whole thing? Come on. Oh, almost. Enemy, a person who is actively opposed or hostile to someone or something. Are not people opposed or hostile towards us? Go back to Africa, nigga. You monkey? Porch monkey? Huh? Bamboo? Are they not hostile towards us? Huh? Maybe you never been called a nigga to your face. Huh? Maybe you never been called a porch monkey. That we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us. Where did we just see that at? We seen that in Psalms, where it was talking about that. We seen that in Jeremiah. We seen that in Baruch. This is what salvation is being saved from your enemies and from the what? Hand of all that hate who? The nation of Israel. Remember, because they cut them off and being what? No more remembrance. You would lose your heritage in Jeremiah 17:4. Verse 72, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers and to remember his Kodash covenant, or holy covenant. Verse 73, the oath which he swore to our father who? Abraham. All praises to the Most High Yahweh Allah, call Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashama Mashiach Yahweh Shai, the water, that he would grant unto us that we being delivered out of the hand of our what? Enemies, might serve him without fear. That's what salvation is, being saved from our enemies in the Quadash or holiness and righteousness before him all the days of our life. And thou, child, shall be called the prophet of the highest. For thou shalt go before the face of Yahweh to prepare his way, to give knowledge of salvation unto his people by the remission of their sins. It clearly says that salvation is unto his people. What people? The same people. Listen, I don't have to say it. You know, the Israelites. Verse 78. Through the tender mercy of our Allah, whereby the day spring from on high have visited us, to give light to them that sit in darkness. This is what I'm trying to give you now. The light. You've been in darkness if you think salvation is something else, but you're receiving light today. To give light to them that sit in darkness and in the shadow of death, to guide our feet into the way of peace. All praises be to the Most High Yahweh for that. All praises. So if you didn't know, now you know what salvation is. Salvation is being saved from your enemies. Okay? It's right here in Luke chapter 1, verses 67 on down, as it said, Barak be Yahweh Allah of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people. He have what? And have raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. So with that being said, hopefully it was edifying. Hopefully you got some understanding. And now you know what salvation truly is within the Bible. It is being saved from your enemies. The nation, or Israel, will be saved from all of the ones who hate us. All praises be to the Father for that. Right? Shalawam to everybody. Hopefully this was edifying, like I say once again, and we give all praises to our Abanawi Yahweh, call Allah Yahweh, call Allah Yahweh, by Shama Mashiach Yahweh Sai, Kwam Yasharala, and we say Shalawam.
Shalawam. Bahashim Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Sai. That's all I know now. Kal Yasharala.